Wolrd Book Day, might as well review a book. Now, those who follow me on TikTok might know I've already reviewed it, but I'm going to review it more in depth this time. So let's do it. First off, let's do a quick synopsis. America Chsvez Made in the USA is about America Chavez. No duh. But the plot itself is a bit... So, I'll get on my grasp plot later, but Jesus. But basically, the plot is... She goes back to where she grew up in Washington Heights when her adopted family is threatened by a mysterious person who claims to know more about her than she probably should. Basically, after following a line of clues, she, the person that's threatening the family, it claims to be her sister. Dun. She is. It's not like a rug pull. She is legitimately a sister. Catalina Chavez is her name. I don't know why I struggled with that for a second, but basically she retcons her entire backstory, and I do not really like the retcon. I'll explain why later, but she explains that she in America was suffering from a disease called edges, and this was slowly killing them. And then her mother decided to team up with a guy called Giles, a rich billionaire who wants to cure it himself. Basically they agree to work together to find a cure. But why does Giles want to do it? Never explained in the book, and I can't be bothered researching it because this is a review of this book by itself. So does he want to be rich? Does he have it himself, or does he just want the fame for doing it? I don't know. But it's like in the Avian Turd. It's like in the beta film, was just like, I'm gonna be rich, like stupid rich. Because if so, that's stupid. It was stupid then. Stupid back when it was written in 2021. This is right. Can you see my eyes? I don't see my eyes, but still, you see my reflection. But still, basically, the problem is. So then, Catalina's Nimbus needs to use America's adopted brother. Alberto, as a hostage to try and convince America Chavez to open up this utopian parallel chamber so she can get her mothers back, which is her entire plan, as well as do a little bit of child experimentation. You get to hear the edges with something called starlings, which was Giles' nickname for what America and her sister were, plus a bunch of other little children who all had edges. All of them were girls for some reason, because that's an odd note. It's noted that it primarily affects people with 2 X chromosomes. I don't know why. Does it just need 2 X chromosomes just to go? I'm gonna fuck your shit up. But still, it just doesn't make sense. I guess it does. Science is weird, and I don't get science mostly. Just that's me with science. But still, basically, America Chavez opens a portal with what little juice she has left because her powers have been on the fritz. Because the edges is coming back, and her whole power set is dependent on her edges basically just being in remission the entire time. And the Catalina falls through. Something interesting about Catalina and the edges is that edges gives you powers when you recover them. I guess it's like a side effect, but Catalina's whole power set is lightning, is just electricity for some reason. I don't know why. I guess science. Honestly, I should stop questioning because the answer is supposed to be science, bitch. But yeah, Catalina falls through. They are safe. America Chavez decides to try and find home for starlings and cure edges, so she can go back in dimensions, because this comic severely under the powers her of her only being able to fly for like 5 minutes at a time, which you can get a lot done in 5 minutes. Trust me on that. But also just not being able to travel through the multiverse, which was that just want to be oh no, we needed an item we destroyed like 20 years ago, and America Chavez just goes, hold my beer. Don't know why I took my shades off for that, but still. Yeah, but that's not my main gripe, because I think it's fine to do power superheroes. Spider-Man 2 proved that can do some great storytelling. But my main issue is the retconning of her backstory. Her backstory was that she came from a place called Utopian Parallel, which is the backstory which was adapted in the MCU Multiverse of Madness. Which we're on the topic, yes, I know it's a bit weird, I'm reviewing an America Chavez book, but I don't own an America Chavez figure. But I've just decided, fuck it, I had a magic scene set up here anyway, so might as well. I do a Doctor Strange, so I'm hoping that makes up for it, but still, basically, yeah. But the retconning is my main issue with it, and here's why. Basically, I prefer her old backstory of the utopian parallel, because I find that interesting. It's like, oh, it's Utopia. What interesting cultural things have we got there? Think about all the culture, what it must be like, about the contrast between her childhood and the absolute shitness that is America, because let's be honest, crime is quite ridden there. Trust me, she's up like loads of crimes in this. Just kidding, no, she doesn't. She does like maybe like the flashbacks, which I love the flashbacks. It's like, oh, flesh out the backstory a bit, because her time with Santana's, which is her adoptive family, which also got me quite confused with bloody El Diablo so many times. Still, but I like the flashbacks, just showing the decay of that relationship, as well as probably being quite relatable to most adoptive kids, because I'm lucky enough to have both my parents, so it's probably got relatability there for those people who are unfortunate to have that. Yeah, moving on to that topic, Jesus Christ. But basically, she doesn't. But other than like finding moles and some rats at the beginning and end, which is I meant to like poetry, it rhymes, but still. Yeah, this was also probably meant to move it up to New York, which is just, does New York need any more superheroes? They got the Avengers, Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, whatever, Venom, actually any of those days, Doctor Strange. Did you officially Avengers counts more than one? But she was a part of the West Coast Avengers along with Kate Bishop, who her best friend it's barely in it. She gets a cameo. She has like a cameo in like 2 issues, and then the only big role she plays is in the first issue where she just kind of like fucking disappears. But it's just like, yes, we're not like a best friend or anything. But she doesn't get shafted as much as America Chsvez's fucking girlfriend, which probably should have been in this title more. I'm complaining about. I'm acting like I don't like this title. I love this title. It's a great read. You don't really feel what's lack of presence while you're reading it, but once you think about it, you're just like, wait, America Chavez's girlfriend is barely in this America Chavez title. That just ain't right. But still, she probably should have been in this more than having what is essentially just a cameo at the end and a very small role at the beginning. Kate Bishop had a bigger role than her. Kate Bishop. You're thinking girlfriend would outrank best friend, but still, I guess not. Yeah, but still, I find the concept this deals with quite a nice read. I mean, the backstory probably is the superior backstory in terms of written, because it gives more arcs you can do over several books. Like Edge's got to kill that ship so you get your powers back. Starlings, you got to find out what blood happened to those kids, because Catalina mentioned see, America Chavez's mum's freed all the Starlings, and then Catalina later mentions that she was the only one Giles had left, which means, what the fuck happened to those other kids? What did the security press go pew pew? Or did they all escape? It's left open ended, which means there's some story to tell with that, because America herself never actually witnesses what happened to those kids. So it's pretty much open to interpretation. I, being the hopeful optimist I am, like to think they all escaped, got nice new families. But in all likelihood, they all probably ended up with a bit more tragic endings. But that's not the worst part. But yeah, it's always worth that. But still, me trying to think of a fix the sale, bro. I mean, Jesus. Oh, if you've ever made, fucking hell. But still. The war. Shit. I've lost my entire train of thought here. Give me. I'm gonna come back to this. Jesus Christ. And the back, because I forgot to talk about the art. This is why people script their reviews instead of just, improvising. You tell I'm not good at this, can you? The art is blinking lovely. I don't think I've mentioned it in this one. But let me tell you something. That's a nice page, but also, then it later gets mirrored. Catalina showing the two sisters but on the opposite page, however, America Chsvez fallen, but she's being gripped and being pulled away. It was also just another story like you can do later. Just like, oh, I'm gonna go find me sister I just found out existed and try to like threaten me adopted brother with a kid. Yeah, Kathleen is meant to be this sympathetic, but it's just like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but I do get where she's coming from. But I just feel like she's just not sympathetic for me, but because she's like, oh, boo, my parents are... Actually, parents are dead, so you probably would cry about that, but still, she just feels just like too... She's just like too redeemable. She's just like, yeah, great, so you know what I'm gonna do? Oh, I'm dying, so let's experiment on some fucking children, because, hey. And then let's go threaten this guy who's got a kid. It's just like, you know, Jesus Christ. You're like, threatening, you're like, I just don't find her to be like, I just don't find, when it comes to like villains who are meant to be relatable, not relatable, like you can, you can be sympathetic to, like Loki. Loki and Sharp. Killmonger just like, Killmonger's very similar, but you kind of be like, oh yeah, we kind of do take Killmonger, but Killmonger's ideas are good at the beginning. He just completely mucks it up. And then T'Challa does do what he basically does do his ideas, but he does them better. But here I'm just like, what? Also, can I just more? Also, was this like written? Was like part of this written like at one time, and then there's like a month break? Because Captain's whole goal just seems to like change like partly through one issue. Because I read myself, and all the times I do find myself beginning a project at one point and then just finishing it like months later. Because it's very rare I finish a project in 2 weeks, but so I know what it feels like, but it does. I can definitely tell that that's what must have happened because, like, one issue, she's just like, my goal is to cure engines with a bunch of child experimentation. The next issue, her goal is, I'm going to bring back her mum's using your power and a little bit of zappy threatening powers because she's got electric powers. I don't know much on that. I don't know. I've never made a review of the song. Give me a break, but her goals also don't change, which I get it. Villains get multiple goals, but she never mentioned it to her. America was like, first, you know, I might cure edges. I might also bring my mum's back while I'm at it. You know, kill two birds with one stone while you're here. But she never brings it up. And I don't know why. It's just that contrast in plans just seems to just, you know, it's a good book while you're reading it, but in retrospect, there are a lot of issues with it. But would I recommend buying it? I mean, I like it. It's a good read. It's well written. It's so well written that these plot points really tend to be. These plot points don't jump out of you until after you've read it. And I'm only thinking about this now, critically. I'm only thinking about reading it now, which is the only reason why these plot issues are just coming up. It feels good because I don't know. Maybe Catalina realized her Starling's plot. She's like, oh, this is gonna have and smoke. Oh my god, I get these kids back on their pots, all pricks. But still, it does just feel like maybe it was written a bit too separately without an idea, or maybe it's like, how do we get rid of this person, like the multiverse? Oh yeah, great. We'll just trying to bring him back in the chamber. It's a good read, a lot of issues, but I would still recommend it. Would I give it a? Oh no, now I might do star ratings, like which is quite good for this actually. So would I out of 5 stars? I'd give it like 3 stars, 3 out of 5 stars. It's a good read. There are quite a few issues in it, but one of the best parts, I'd argue, are the Santanas. They're Chavez's family, and they do feel like there's family in it. Like I cannot comment on their culture because I am white in America. Because I'm a white man in Britain, and they're like Latinos in America. I was watching Russians in Heights a lot. I was watching the Heights a lot, and that's basically my Heights. So you know, yeah, they do feel like a proper type family unit. I'm like, yeah, you guys, like, and they also do seem like the type of people to take in a kid who they found on a beach, which, did that not raise any questions with any authorities? I mean, yes, they do have an excuse, like, she's a visiting relative. But, well, it's like a month, maybe 2, maybe 3 if you're lucky, but no, after, like, you know, of the years she does spend with them. Just like, is she really? You think immigration might get involved? Just like, you think immigration might start poking around, but no. Like, I mean, unless they do it off screen. But I'm critiquing this comic as it is, as a solo piece. Like, if you bought, like, if this is like your first America Chavez book, which it is for me, so I guess I'm a good person. Whether or not it's a good introduction, is it a good introduction to America Chavez? Yes. Is it? Have I read books? Yes, I have. Specifically the book I bought with this, which was Dark Ages, which I might do an in-depth review of that at some point, but still. It's a good book, but yeah. Really all I can say, it's a good book. It's wouldn't be, I'd recommend you buy it if you're starting out American Chavez. If you're starting out as an American Chavez fan, it's definitely a good place to start. So, American Chavez. So anyway, so don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff that helps this channel grow. Also don't forget to comment, because I like reading comments. I might respond. Do you like the figure setup? I like doing figure setups. Did you like it? I feel like... Yeah. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I hope to see you next one. Good. Bye. Also, by the way, yes, I probably should comment for it. So my next video would be an console video, but I realised it was Wolrd Book Day today, so I figured I might as well try to get like a themed video out about that. You know what? What I do about a character who I actually love. I love this character. She is a good character, so yeah, I like the confidence. I like characters to be confident and be shaken a bit, but still. Yes, trust me, the Encanto video will be coming out in April. There's going to be a very special reason why it's Encanto, which you will realise in the video. I hope to see you all later. Goodbye.